Is Google making a tablet that doesn't suck? Let's find out. Well, hello everyone and welcome. So yes, as I'm making this video a couple weeks ago in 2018, Google unveiled a couple new products, including their Pixel 3 phone, a couple other products, and the Pixel Slate. They're re-entering the tablet game, and I can't be more happy about it. So let's look at what is the Pixel Slate. At first I thought it was an Android tablet, but then looking at it, it's not. It's a tablet running Chrome OS. And before we even talk about the tablet and whatnot, I think I want to talk about Android on tablets as well as Chrome OS. So in terms of Android, back in the day when Apple came out with their first generation iPad, this is a 4th gen actually, everyone blew up in terms of tablets. Everyone's like, oh, I gotta make a new tablet. The iPad became big, as well as a ton of Android devices, especially when Android Honeycomb came out. All these tablets were doing okay, but fast forward today, Android tablets are really not that great, and there's not really a lot out there. There's a couple decent ones, but the iPad's really killing it in the tablet space. So yeah, Android tablets, not that great. However, let's look at Chrome OS. When Google unveiled Chrome OS on their Chromebooks and whatnot, Chrome OS was only a Google Chrome web browser. That's all it was. It was an entire operating system dedicated to a web browser. So you had to have an internet connection to use your computer. And although that works out for some people, for the vast majority of us, probably not. However, Chromebooks are very big in schools, I do know that, but for the average consumer, there's a lot of people that still consider a Windows computer or a Mac, which is fine. But over the past few years, Chrome OS has constantly been developed and it's looking really good. So fast forwarding today with the Pixel Slate running Chrome OS, it honestly looks really nice. So as of today, Chrome OS is so much more than just a web browser. It is a full-fledged operating system that you can download offline apps to and use without an internet connection, which is fantastic. And now, Chrome OS works pretty well with touch support, with touchscreens, hence why it is being put on a tablet as this tablet, the Pixel Slate's main OS. So looking at the Pixel Slate though, it definitely looks like a nice piece of hardware with a roughly 12-inch display with good resolution, thin bezels. This device looks relatively comparable with a lot of tablets out there today. And the operating system looks to work really well on tablets. Looks like it has a nice interface that works very well with touch support, so I'm really thrilled to get my hands on it. However, one thing you might question though is the app support. Even though Chrome OS has been, constantly developed on over time, are you still limited to whatever apps are in the Google Chrome browser? Well, no, you are not limited with that because Chrome OS supports a plethora of apps. You can actually install just about any Android app natively on Chrome OS. Even though not all Android apps work great on tablets, you can still install them. And now you can actually also install Linux apps on Chrome OS, and that's simply because Chrome OS is based off of a Linux kernel. That is pretty sweet. So now you have access to all of the apps in the Google Play Store as well as Linux apps. And Linux apps, you might have to be a little bit more of an advanced user to get access to them, but it is possible nonetheless. But regardless, shifting back to the Pixel Slate specifically, just to go over some specs on it. So I'm looking at the screen right now. Well, for $599, you'll get an Intel Celeron processor, 4GB of RAM, and 32GB of storage. For $599, that's honestly not a ton of computer. I got an iPad right here, just an iPad, 32GB of storage for $300. For double that, and the same storage, that's not ideal. And that kind of goes across the board. If you go up, looking at their $1,000 model, you get an i5, which is pretty nice, 8GB of RAM, 128GB of storage. Not bad, but still only 128GB of storage for something that might replace your computer more than like an iPad today. It's a little tough. And then for an i7, 16 gigs of RAM, 256GB of storage for $1,600, don't get me wrong, it's cool that you have a i7 chip and 16GB of RAM, but a tablet at $1,600 and only 256 gigabytes of storage, not great. Apple just unveiled some new iPad Pros, and you can get a terabyte of storage for $1,700. And I'm not saying the iPad Pro should be $1,700, but just comparing the price, for a little bit more money, arguably you get a ton more, storage and computing power from an iPad than this Pixel Slate. Obviously, you don't have an i7 processor in the iPad, but it's just interesting nonetheless. So at the end of the day, what is my takeaway with the Pixel Slate? What are my opinions with it? Chrome OS is intriguing me more and more. The fact that, you access the store within the Chrome browser for applications, you can download any Android app and even Linux apps, which I didn't know about until today, that is awesome. However, that's only trying to catch it up to the App Store in something like an iPad, which already has a fantastic App Store with applications that are designed for a touchscreen. At the end of the day, Chrome OS is still really focused on, a keyboard and mouse experience. Even though it works decently well with a touchscreen interface, you're gonna have some app support issues with apps that are not designed for a touchscreen, which is gonna be rather unfortunate. It's definitely going in the right direction. It's probably just not perfect right now. And the pricing of this tablet is, I still think, a little bit high for what you get for it. So I'm definitely still interested in this product. It's going to be relatively hard though to consider it to be a pro product though, because if I got an iPad Pro, I'm gonna wanna do all my photo editing on it, and with Photoshop coming to the iPad, and even current photo editors, and even some little video editors, the iPad Pro is really there in terms of productivity for no multimedia. Pixel Slate though, you're not getting the greatest apps with Linux for that. The Android, Google Play Store doesn't have all of the greatest apps for this, productivity workflow. Not to say it's being improved on, because it is. It's constantly being improved on. But I think there's just a little bit more to be desired in the Chrome OS world to really fine-tune this product. I still want to get my hands on it. It still looks really interesting. And hey, maybe this could replace, my MacBook and my iPad, but that's all to be determined. So guys, what do you think about the Pixel Slate? Are you interested in it? Will you be getting it? Be interested to hear your feedback down below. Anyway, I'm Eric, and I'll catch you in the next one.